This is from the start of the book, and it's set in a graveyard. "There's somebody coming up the hill." Wilf had been told not to talk. Mary, his mother, shushed him. Still, everybody turned to look down the hill, even the vicar. Two coppers, Briggs and Emerson, were coming up the lane towards the cemetery, looking as if they'd run all the way from the station in Collingford. They stopped when they got to the grave. Briggs, older and fatter, tried to say something but had no breath left. He nudged Emerson's elbow. "You've got to stop," Emerson said. "What?" Emerson cleared his throat and said louder, "You've got to stop the funeral." The vicar looked at the undertaker, who shook his head. He didn't know what they were talking about either. Briggs recovered his breath enough to say, "Perhaps we could have a quiet word." He took the vicar and the undertaker to one side and they whispered. Emerson stayed with the mourners. He knew them. Mary Dutton used to come into his dad's shop. Doris, her eldest daughter, was at the same school as his little brother. They nodded embarrassed hellos. Mrs. Fellows, Mary Dutton's friend, asked him, "What's all this about then?" He said he was ever so sorry, but he wasn't at liberty to say. The undertaker told the men to put the coffin back on the cart, and the vicar braced himself to break the news to Mary. "This is all very distressing, but I'm afraid the police are saying that Dr. Willoughby may have made a mistake. There's going to have to be an autopsy." What sort of a mistake?" "I'm sure it's no more than a formality, although I must say that to leave it to the 11th hour like this shows an inhuman lack of compassion. But rest assured..." Mary wasn't listening. The cart had started back down the hill. She followed it. "What's going on? What's going on?" The undertaker turned. "Somebody said he was poisoned."